Well, hi everybody, my name is Tony Grillo and welcome to my channel, Wisconsin Hugs. There's my co-pilot right there, DJ. DJ, you gonna say hi, buddy? DJ. Hey, DJ. DJ's, I tried to get him. Anyways, he's right there. He's looking out the window. He wants to get outside. We've been driving since 2 a.m. this morning, but we got all our runs done. And I'm out hours, and hopefully it'll be a quick day tomorrow. So I am at, let's see, I'll show you where I'm at. I'm in a town here called Oakdale, Wisconsin, and it is right by Tomah, Wisconsin, if you know where that is, where the 90-94 splits. You got 90 goes to La Crosse, and 94 basically heads all the way to Eau Claire, and then it heads all the way to Twin Cities. And yeah, there's my buddy right there. Hi, DJ. Yes, I will take you outside in a sec. Yes, we will go outside. He's a little gruff looking, but that's because it's the end of the week and it was raining. I took him outside earlier when we were in Minneapolis, and so he got all wet from the rain, and he needs a bath. We both need a bath. So I'm wearing my Def Leppard shirt, and I actually did get to see these guys when they came to Oshkosh. I was there with my kids, and maybe I'll show a quick little video I took from my Facebook of that. This concert was in Oshkosh back in 2015. So this is a while ago when I saw them. I saw them with my twin boys, but so that was Def Leppard. Awesome band from the 80s. A lot of awesome stuff from the 80s, right? This video is going to be about a comedian that apparently has gotten into some hot water with the government of Australia for a joke that he told. And before I get to that, I'm gonna play parts of the story that he told. You know, I drive my semi truck. One of the things I really enjoy is a good story. And I was this guy. His name is Isaac Butterfield. He's in Australia, and he's a very funny young man with full beard. He's married. I think he's gonna be a new daddy. And he likes to basically slam everybody. There isn't anybody that he won't touch. You know, he'll hit Jewish people. He hits Christians. He hits white people. He hits black people. He hits name it. He does it. I mean, nobody's safe from. He also likes to target woke people, and he has a lot of stuff on his YouTube channel. It's called Isaac Butterfield, and you can look him up. Very funny, for a funny young man, you know. And he has a really funny story about a joke that he told that has got him into some hot water, and he has to appear in front of a human rights commission, which I will play bits of his videos and let you hear him tell his story. I won't play the whole video because it's like 19 minutes long, and he goes into this rant, and he's funny when he rants, but I'll play little snippets there so you get the gist of what is going on here. But before I play that video, I'll tell you one time a joke that I told one time that offended a bunch of people on my Facebook. it was a joke. I don't know word for word. I can't remember. It was so long ago, but it was a joke about Jesus walking into a bar, and he heals one guy. Basically, so the guy could see. He was blind, and now he could see. And then another guy had cancer, and he healed the cancer from that guy. So the guy no longer has cancer. And both men were just ecstatic and happy, and ran out of the bar just thanking Jesus, and were so happy that he cured them. Then he gets to the third man, and the third man's like, "Don't put your hands on me, Jesus! Don't put your hands on me. I'm on disability." And I thought it was a funny joke, but it did offend some people on my Facebook, and I bet you could probably guess who it offended. It offended any of my Facebook friends that do collect disability. They were offended by that joke. In fact, a couple of them had to comment on why they're on disability and such, and it just goes to show you that, I mean, I don't think there's anything out there that doesn't offend somebody. And then sometimes I wonder if people are actually out there looking to be offended. Because I remember one of my friends said, "Boy, I don't know about this joke, Tony." I just thought it was a funny joke. That's all. I just, but it did. So I could sympathize with Isaac a little bit. I will tell you this one story. I was a general manager over at a plant in Ohio, a waste tire shredding plant, Port Clinton, Ohio. I worked for a company called, at that time it was called Midwest Tire Services. And then they expanded to become National Tire Services. And there's a big story about that, about how they rose and then their downfall. And I actually chronicled that in a earlier video when I first started doing YouTube videos. I talk about that company and what happened there in that situation. But anyways, I was fresh. I was out of college, and I was seeing the country. I was like 5 different states, and so I'm in Ohio, and my very first week there, I'm there because the other general manager that normally ran the place, he got busted with drugs. So he's in jail, and they sent me over there. They were going to close the place down anyway, so they sent me over there just to kind of keep things together, and so I went over there, and I got a million stories about my experiences over there. But basically, great group of people, great crowd of people, great employees at Port Clinton, Ohio. I have nothing but respect for all of them, and a lot of love for them. And I hated to leave them after I had to go. But anyways, my very first week there was a guy. He was in the bars bragging about how he hurt himself so that he could collect benefits. He didn't want to work. And so he was bragging. He was actually at the bar bragging about faking an injury. He actually wasn't injured. He was faking an injury so he could collect unemployment benefits or whatever that's called. And so my company wasn't too happy about that, and if it was a legitimate thing, yeah, that's one thing. But if you're at a bar bragging about faking it, then you just pissed off a bunch of people in Chicago, a bunch of Italians in Chicago. And so anyways, so they told me, they said, well, what we want you to do, Tony, is we want you to tell that guy he can work as long as it's light duty. He has to do light duty stuff. So we're going to make him, since he likes to go to the bar every night, we're going to tell him he has to work a night shift. He's going to have to be our night security guard. We didn't need a night security guard there, but they created this spot for him just because they knew they were like, he wasn't going to last. Because he liked to go to the bar and he liked to drink, and so we did. I brought him in the office. I called him up and introduced myself, and I said, I'd like to meet with you Monday morning. I want you to come in, and we need to talk. And so I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday morning. So he finally came in, and I met him, and I said, look, I understand you can do light duty. Doctor says, as long as you're not doing any lifting. So we need a nighttime security guard here. And so we're going to have you perform that duty. You're going to come in and I purposely made the hours from 7 o'clock and made it an 8-hour shift. So from 7 to 5, 7 at night to 5 in the morning. And usually we came in right around 5 in the morning. That's when first shift started running. And so I said, you're not allowed to have any friends here, and there'll be absolutely no alcohol will be allowed on the premises. You never know when I'm going to stop in. I will stop in time to time, check in on you. So he lasted 3 nights. 3 nights! And then he quit. He's like, yeah, I can't. 3 nights he lasted. And all right, so this is Isaac Butterfield. And I'm going to play just a few snippets where he tells his story.
Censor myself. I really do believe that you can do any type of joke about any subject on stage as long as it's funny. Made fun of, but never have I ever seen a comedian anywhere in the world be brought before the Human Rights Commission because of a joke. Yeah. That's what this video is about. I've never seen it. I've never seen a comedian brought before a commission that is supposed to protect, you guessed it, human rights. I'd never seen it until I opened an envelope that appeared at my front door. On the front of that A4 envelope was a logo. It said the Queensland Human Rights Commission. Now, I live in New South Wales. I'm not even in Queensland, but apparently their jurisdiction is the whole country, so here we are. Inside of that envelope was a decree from these people that I had to appear in front of the Queensland Human Rights Commission because of a joke that I told. As soon as I went to the front door and my postman gave me this, he's a good guy, postman, shout out. He gave me this envelope. My heart sank a little bit because I knew it was pretty official. I was like, am I being sued? What is going on here? I'm about to have a baby. I don't really need this extra stress. But I just sort of took it inside and read it. And as I was reading it, I just couldn't believe what I was reading. As I went through page by page, and I've got no legal experience or anything like that, I was just reading going, are they allowed to do this? Is this real? So basically, the Human Rights Commission had received a complaint, not from a company, not from a group, not from a policeman or a lawyer. They had received a complaint from one person, and that is enough that I have to go and appear in front of them. One person didn't like a joke, and then on the 20th of April at 9:30, I had to be there to appear in a conciliation conference. That one person had enough power to compel a comedian who told a joke that they didn't like to go in front of a commission of people and work it out. Their country is in that a comedian can't even tell jokes without being pulled in front of a government body. I know this is sort of funny. People are watching this going, oh my God, he offended the snowflake so much. But this is real life. I'm being dragged in front of the Human Rights Commission. That's not what I started doing stand-up for. I tell jokes to make people laugh, and I don't give a shit if you're offended. But fuck me. What is wrong with you that you are so offended that you need to take it to this almighty commission that could compel anyone to leave, drop whatever they're fucking doing and come and stand in front of you so you can feel better about it? I don't even know what to say.
So he was talking about his show. It was, I believe it was at the height of COVID, or he just got done with COVID, and people were, he was doing the shows again back in front of a live crowd. He was talking about cancel culture, and I'll let him explain from here.
Talk. The joke that was posted onto TikTok was one about cancel culture and how you can trigger cancel culture to come for you. And the jokes themselves were about Aboriginal people. And in that section of jokes, or in that bit, I went through the 5, in my opinion, most offensive jokes that I had written about Aboriginal people. Now bear in mind, I wrote jokes about everyone. One of the jokes that preceded this was about white people in Bali dying in the Bali bombing, okay? So it's not just, people who happen to have dark skin that I go after. It is everyone. The whole point of the bit is to build something called the cancel culture cake. At the bottom, it's a nice base layer. It's not too bad. Everyone can get around it. It's a bit of a clever joke. And then eventually, layer by layer, it gets worse and worse until I get to the point where I say, fuck, I'm such a fucking asshole. Why don't you just bloody watch it? That's probably easier, okay? This is me in front of 1,500 people in Perth. You're not allowed to tell Aboriginal jokes. No, you're not allowed, okay? Jokes are real and they hurt people's feelings. Go on. Me. So I thought, let's try and get me cancelled one more time. All right? Let's start off real slow, all right? Let's move our way into it. Like when you're skipping at school, you got to warm up, all right? Recently, I recently gave my grandmother a frangipani for her birthday. Delicious, right? Wonderful, fantastic. She grabbed it. She said, "This is great. I love frangipani trees. They're wonderful, but it's a bit heavy." She said, "Can you take it?" And I said, "Sure. Where do you want me to put it, Gran?" She said, "Can you put it at the back, in the garden?" I said, "Gran, where in the garden?" She said, "Can you put it next to the natives?" I said, "Gran, they're First Nations people, all right?" "And why are they in your shed?" It's so easy to write Aboriginal jokes. They write themselves. The most Aboriginal word in the world, corroboree, has the word robbery in it. White people in Australia never really culturally appropriated Aboriginal culture because there's nothing that we really wanted except for the kids. Let's be honest, we never looked at tapping sticks and thought, oh fuck, we need those. I thought I'd never seen Aboriginal pornography before. And on top of that, I thought I'd never seen an Aboriginal pornographic magazine. It turns out I have. It's just known as a different name, National Geographic magazine, all right? One more. This is the piece de resistance. Have you ever seen a transgender Aboriginal? Of course you haven't. They're hard to spot because the ladies already look like blokes. There you go. So that's it, okay? Jokes that are designed to be offensive, quick, short, sharp, silly little jokes, right? Believe it or not, I don't believe them. That's not how I actually think about Aboriginal people at all. Now, once I posted that joke, the feedback was pretty quick, all right? Originally, it was just all people who had seen my stuff before. They thought, that's pretty funny, whatever. But then, some people got upset. Then a lot more people got upset. I would have received at least 1,000 death threats that night. Even more threats of violence. Like just absolute madness. How quickly people, just because they're offended, turn to violence. I even had a guy at a cafe say he was going to bash me. Like, really? Really? You don't understand comedy to the extent that you want to fight someone because they said something that you find offensive. Probably the one joke that people found the most offensive was about the stolen generation. Now, if you're not familiar with the stolen generation, it was basically when the Australian government went into Aboriginal homes and stole the children, kidnapped them, right, out of their homes and put them with white families because they thought it would, help them. Crazy, evil, bad, terrible. One of the worst things that's ever happened in this country. But does that mean you can't joke about it? No, mate. Like, you got to joke about everything. That's it. That's my argument. So now I'll read you the actual complaint filed. But before I do, this was also one of the jokes that was noted along with the other jokes that the person didn't like. It's hard in the comedy industry for a white guy, right? There's too many white guys in the comedy world, apparently. I heard that as a young comic. I thought, how am I going to do this? I wish that I had something wrong with me, like I was a woman or black. And again, it's a stupid, silly joke. It's like a jump scene in a horror film. You don't see it coming, and that's why you react to it, right? That's why I like those type of jokes. They're there for a reason. They're there structurally, right? To go from one bit, a bigger bit, to another bit. Anyway, whatever. Okay, so here's the complaint, and I'll keep the person's name private. Okay, so here's the questions. I asked questions to it. Have you been sexually harassed? No. Okay, I'm off to a good start. Congratulations. Do you feel you have been...
So you can go on to Isaac's channel and you can catch him tell his entire story. I would highly recommend that you do so. I think it's very interesting. I think it's very funny. At the same time, it's almost scary because you think we have freedom of speech. I realize you can't shout fire in a crowded building, but at the same time, he's a comedian and he's telling jokes. I mean, it was the same thing with Chris Rock. You may not like the jokes that he was telling. I thought, to be honest, I thought his jokes were rather lame. And you know, Will Smith should have never slapped Chris Rock, but at the same time, I don't think he should have went after, you know, Will's wife like he did. But you know, that video has been done to death, and don't want to talk about that. But still, he was telling jokes. That's what he was doing. He's a comedian. He should have the right to tell jokes. But the fact that he has to appear in front of a government institution called the Human Rights, I don't know what they call it, the Human Rights something board. I mean, judicial board. I mean, what's gonna happen to him? I mean, he appears in front of the board, and what are they gonna like? Is he gonna be charged with a crime? I don't know what totally is going to happen. But he said that he basically ends it with this is to be continued. So we'll have to find out later what actually happens if he does appear in front of this board or not, and what was his whole experience being there too. What was it all about? I mean, it is an interesting story, and so I thought I'd share it all with you. And it is funny how people can get so triggered nowadays by a joke. I mean, even the milk ad that I put up a couple days ago with Aubrey Plaza. I mean, there are people that are really triggered by that, and it's interesting because the people that are triggered by that were the ones that were telling the people on the right that they shouldn't be offended by the Dylan Mulvaney Bud Light commercials. So it is interesting how, you know, the sides got flipped, and all of a sudden they're triggered when they were lecturing, you know, people on the right not to be triggered by a commercial. I do find that hypocritical. I do find it funny, and the same thing with Isaac Butterfield. I think this is a fascinating story, and I'm going to end the video right here on that note. So I hope you all have a great day, and you know, hopefully nobody's offended by any jokes that you tell. All right, I'm out of here. Wisconsin Hugs. Got to go walk the dog now. Take care, everybody.